Oh.
Good.
lost
Hey,
them.
Schmitt, have you watched any movies lately?
I don't know what it was called, but my water bottle's named Stripes.
She watched the one where the zebra wins the fake Kentucky Derby. They didn't call it the Derby. They call it the Kentucky something. It's very inspiring.
It was. The zebra one. He was different than all the rest.
All right. Now we've got that opening comment out of the way. We'll just go ahead and start things with Allison. Maybe just tell us, kind of how training has been going for you, and what what your thoughts are about being back here in Omaha after experiencing success here 4 years ago.
Training has been going well, and I'm excited to be back, third time, and a different perspective every time. So 2008, I was the kid that just wanted to get the teddy bear after I saw Michael bring the teddy bear back after making the Olympic team. I wanted to also get the teddy bear. And then 2012, I had left school to come to Baltimore and train, focused strictly on swimming, and everything went as planned and actually exceeded the expectations. And now back for my third one, and I feel like a 5-year-old kid waking up for Christmas again.
We'll go ahead and take some questions.
Okay, thanks.
All
Okay, see ya.
Oh, now we got a lot. All right, we'll go Paul and then Wayne.
Hi, Allison. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. How has going through some of the things you've gone through in the pool and outside the pool, you think molded you into where you are now going into this? I mean, we know what you've kind of gone through with some depression issues and also some results that have not been what you wanted them to be. How has that, steeled you for this?
I've learned a lot about myself in the past few years, and I think that any failure, any disappointment I've had, I've learned way more about myself than I have through any successes I've had. So as hard as those may have been, I'm grateful for them, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without them.
Wayne.
Bob, I want to ask you about Allison and the fact that where she was a year, 2 years ago, and where she is today, did you think that was possible to get here?
I thought it was going to be tough to get back to where she is. Really physically to start with, but that part's all been, she's training at her top level. And racing, really, right? Very close to her super top level. What I was most concerned with was that she would actually like doing it and love swimming again, and she really wasn't during that time, when you were kind of had that downtime. It's very hard for me in the beginning to fully understand what she was going through because she's so good at, smile, always. And I think once we figured out that there were some things that we could help her with and that we could get help for her, that was the start of something really good. And as soon as she started taking those steps, the swimming started coming along. So it's just been really a continuous, really things have been good since then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nicole and then Karen.
Nicole Auerbach, USA Today. Allison, we were hearing a lot about Boomer the last half hour. Can you kind of talk us through how cute he is, what's amazing about him, and also, how now that he's finally here, Michael has been acting as a father?
Boomer's awesome. He's the happiest little baby ever. He only cries if he needs food or poops his diaper.
Which is most of the time,
Yes.
but he eats a lot.
I have had the poopy diaper pooped on my shirt, so I have experienced that already. But it's awesome to see the family together, to see the three of them, and when Bob comes over, it's like one happy family. It's fun to see Michael as a dad, and I can just see how happy he is, and you can see it every day, even when he comes into practice. He's like a new person, a new father.
Okay, Allison, as a person, what qualities about yourself do you have that make you a world-class competitor? And Bob, what qualities do you see in her that makes her the competitor she is?
Okay. Well, go for that.
I love to race. like to have fun, and I think that I'm more of a laid-back athlete than a lot of other athletes, but I love to race, and I think that helps me with the competitive edge, helps me every time I dive in the water.
I would say that's 100% accurate. Her love of racing, and she really embraces the environment. And, when Allison gets too serious, then I know things might not be good. When we have a happy Schmitty, we have a fast Schmitty. So that's my job. Keep her happy.
Karen and then Childs.
Allison, piggybacking off that, a lot of people are saying that women's 200 free is going to be one of the best, if not the best, races of this meet. Since you love to race so much, does that almost work into your wheelhouse that you don't have to think or be serious, you just get in and do what you do best?
Yeah, the same for the 400 free, 100 free. I'm not one to listen to what other people say. I know that we've prepared the best that we can for this, and I'm going to dive in and do exactly what I know I need to do. And I'm going to race hard in that, and whatever happens, I'm going to be happy with the journey that took me to where I am today.
And then an unrelated question, since you are the best person to answer this, being around Nicole and Michael, why do you think they are such a good match? What is it about the two of them that makes them so perfect together?
They balance out each other perfectly. Yeah. It's great to see them together and the chemistry they have. One of the times that I was riding a practice with them, they were talking back and forth, and I was sitting there laughing. They're like, "What are you laughing at?" I go, "You guys are just so perfect for each other. You guys complement each other so well." So it's cool to see that, and I'm happy to see how happy they are, and especially with their new child.
Charles.
Hey Allison. Kind of following Karen's question about the 200 free. Does it get your juices flowing when you're in a race with, other big names, others who have accomplished a lot? I mean, or do you block out who you're competing against directly, almost completely? I mean, how do you deal with that?
Like I said earlier, I just love to race. I mean, with any name from an actor, actress, superstar athlete, I see them as people. I don't really see them as superstars or someone that's unbeatable. And I know Missy and Katie are in there, and they have been doing great. They're great for this sport, and they're great friends and great racers. So all of us what we all have in common is we love to race, and we have a love for this sport. So every time we get to dive in and race against each other, it's a fun time.
Karen, and then time for a couple more.
What was it like for you as someone who loves to race when you got in the water and for a lot of reasons when you tried to summon that, whatever it takes, it wasn't there?
It was rough. I am grateful that I'm still here 4 years later. I know that throughout the past 4 years there were many times that I wanted to call it quits, and I remember after 2014 summer crying in the Baltimore parking lot because I was going in to talk to Bob, tell him that I was going to stop swimming. And I didn't want to go talk to him because I knew deep down I didn't want to quit, but I just didn't know what was going on. And I mean, even last January, a year and a half ago, I thought that was going to be my last. I had dropped out of the Perth meet in Australia. I knew I was committed to go to Pan Am, so I knew I was going to swim through that summer, and I wasn't sure that I'd be here today, but I'm happy with where I am. I'm grateful for the people around me, and I'm grateful for being here today.
David and then Pat.
Allison, so you've had, obviously a very long, successful career. What are the future plans? Or has it all been very focused on, this summer and then kind of reassess after?
My passion right now, besides swimming, I mean, of course I'm here because I still love swimming and I still have goals, but I have a passion to destigmatize the negativity around mental health and depression. And so I'm looking to go back to school so that I can have the scientific background besides the experience that I've had, so I can use both of the scientific background and my experience to help inform other people and to hopefully save a few lives.
So is this going to be sort of the end with swimming for you think, or?
Let's try and make it through this week first.
Okay.
Allison, Pat 40 from Yahoo Sports. From that time in the parking lot, and for Bob as well, did you go in and have the conversation with Bob, and what was the conversation like?
Oh, yeah. So every time that I have a serious talk with Bob, I walk in and I say, Bob, I hope I don't cry, and I immediately
She
start
immediately
crying.
starts crying.
Immediately. This one I was already crying. He's like, oh, gosh. And I sat down, and I think that he could tell that I deep down didn't want to quit. And he told me, let's go each week. We'll see each week how you feel and where you want to be. And it just happened to progress every time from that conversation.
Paul and then Wayne.
Yeah, I'd say that's very accurate. You know, one of the things that I learned with Allison over the years is the first time she ever cried, right? It was like I had the usual male reaction: do anything to make it stop, right? What can I do? Oh, okay, we'll fix it right now. Okay. And I kind of learned that she really just needed somebody to listen to her, you know, and to kind of get some things off her chest. So that was one of those where I could tell that she was really, you know, in a place where she needed somebody to just be there for her, and I was happy I could do that. And we just sort of worked our way day by day. Yeah. Some days weren't that good, she left. Some days were good, she kept going. Yep. Just kind of went out like that.
Yeah, Allison, and again, kind of following up, where do you think you are now, not physically in the pool, but mentally? Where do you think you're? I know you were seeing someone. I guess, is that process still going on? And how do you feel where you were a year and a half ago, that person, and where you are now? And Bob, if you could comment on that as well, what a change you've seen in her.
I think that I'm a whole 180. I'm a completely different person and a completely different attitude about everything. I think that seeing a psychologist is one of the best tools that anybody, an athlete or any person could possibly use. So I'm still an advocate of seeing one, and I still see one and talk to one, and I think that, I have my days. There's good days, bad days, but there's a lot more good days than bad days now, and like I said earlier, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for the support system I've had throughout the bad times. They've stuck with me all the way through, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them.
Yeah. You know, I think the difference between Allison now, who's, you know, you could compare the swimming of Allison now and Allison in 2012, and really Allison in 2008, and they're pretty similar, which is a good thing because that was really good swimming. But the difference is back then she was just a girl, and now she's an amazing woman. I mean, you really are. She's just very mature about how she communicates, how she handles things. She can still be Grumpelstiltskin every now and then.
Grumpa.
That's a joke, but anyway. Other than that, you know, it's just a joy to have her because she's doing it for the right reasons. She's doing it the right way. And she just learned so much about herself, and she uses that now. So it's a very good thing.
Allison, I'm curious with everything you've gone through and Michael's gone through and a lot of Olympic athletes have gone through, do you feel like more should be done to prepare athletes for the aftermath of competing, you know, in the Olympics and on a huge stage?
Oh, 100%. I think that, how I describe it from 2012, we have one goal. We're working towards this goal for our whole lives. And we're giving everything. We're giving everything from our coaches, our trainers, USA Swimming. It's to the point where we don't even carry our own passports. We rely on everyone for everything. And as soon as we're done swimming, as soon as that medal is around our neck, it's kind of on our own. We can even relate it to being a child. It's like a 2-year-old child all of a sudden and going to college from 2 to 18 with none of that in between learning experience.
And I think the nature of the preparation is you don't want to think back, you don't want to think ahead. You have to focus right on where you are. And until the medal is around her neck, that's what you do. And quite frankly, none of us give much thought to what comes next because our goal is pretty hard to reach and very important. So it's sort of the nature of the beast that focuses you so much on the present that you're almost afraid to do a lot of future planning. I think we're in a good place with Allison now because she's actually done that. I think it's really helped. But I do think a debriefing of some kind is really important. And I know as soon as the Olympics is over, I've already booked my flight out of Rio, first one I could possibly get on 5 p.m. on the 14th. I know when I'm leaving, right? Because it's kind of one of these things, you're like, okay, that's it. But the athletes tend to stay. They want to enjoy it. They have time to do that. And I think that if there was some way to prepare them for what's coming after, it would be a very good thing. I think meeting with a psychologist is what it should be. And I think there could be maybe something more formal done, or maybe it should be done individually because different people react different ways. But I do think having a exit strategy, so to speak, is a good thing, would help a lot of people because it really is, we have this whole network of people. We're focused on this goal. We provide all of this support in the process of that goal. And then kind of as soon as they get there, well, we're on to the next. We go back to the next one, right? And do the same thing. And then Schmitt has to, deal. Now she's ready to deal, which is a good thing.
Last one to Karen.
Okay. Allison, is part of the problem or the challenge that you maybe think that if you win a gold medal, your life will change? That's almost the big lie, what you're told. And then you get 4 gold medals and realize that everything has not changed. Is that some of it?
Gold medals or no gold medals, I think I'm the exact same person. It's different how other people perceive us. Michael's sitting up here. He's Michael. He's a father. He's a brother. He's a son, a teammate, friend. And then there's someone else, an average Joe, looking at him as, whoa, look at all those gold medals. And that's an amazing feat. And it's just his passion. And he is the greatest Olympian of all time that had the passion of the sport. And him and Bob working together, it's amazing what they accomplished. But at the end of the day, he is a brother, a father, a son, a husband. So it's different because we are the same people. We are just human beings. We do make mistakes. We do have ups. We do have downs. But we have extra medals around our neck, and that's the only real difference.
And Bob, can I ask you real quickly, do you feel like what the journey you've been on with Michael and Allison, has it made you a more empathetic coach, or how has it changed the way you approach?
Definitely. It's, when you start out with both of them, Michael at 11, Allison at 15, couldn't do a push-up. We started working on step 1, do 2 push-ups, 1 or then 2. They improve really quickly, and they don't need you that much personally because they're not that invested in it, right? You know what I mean? They're just doing it because they love to do it, and you're doing it because you want to help them get better. And as we stay together long enough, we really become connected, so much more personally. And at some point, the straight line of improvement stops, and you have to do different things to manipulate that. And at some point, they start growing up. And there are things that they want to do and that, may or may not fit into your swimming plan. So I would say that the great joy for me has been to go through the growing up process with both of them. And I'm certainly a lot more empathetic than I was. Certainly in Allison's case, I think I've learned so much about people, really. I think I knew about the swimming, and we still got the swimming thing down. But the female brain. I read that. It's a book Terry gave me. And it really helped. I think that, in learning to help Allison move forward, I think it's really made me a lot better coach. Okay.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.